Coach Amanda Brinkman-Brockman. How are you all? I'm going to take you through a tour of my pantry today so that you can see what am I keeping on hand so that I can use real food to get real results and always have backups and ideas, especially for when we're too tired to cook. And if you've listened to my trainings before and you've learned how do we understand what are the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in food that we need, how do we get them in the right amounts for us, then this will be really helpful to you because you can see what can you keep in the pantry. And other weeks we can talk freezer and fridge, but today we'll talk pantry. What can you keep in the pantry to make sure that you are ready and able to hit your macro goals for the day? Because when you learn about macros, you kind of get that the secret is that we don't want to have too much fuel on board and we don't want to have too little. We need to be right here in this sweet spot, giving our body the fuel it needs. And getting to that spot's pretty important. We're kind of like a super fancy automobile, and we have to have the right fuel, we have to have the right combination in the fuel for us to feel our best. And then when we feel our best, we get all these great results. Because we're getting well. So we feel well, we have our energy back, we see our digestion working like a charm, the bloating goes away, the belly fat goes away, you start to burn fat, everything changes. And it's pretty amazing. We definitely lose sight of it because in this go, go, go world, we kind of lose the power of food. But let's get in the pantry and see. And what I'm going to start with here is protein, because protein, that's a molecule, a big molecule our body needs to survive. And if you hear people talk macros, protein is one of the macros. There are only three: proteins, carbs, and fats, and we're just going to talk about those three today. The protein molecule, one of its big jobs is to help you feel satisfied with your meal and to help you feel energized. Protein is really important in us being able to maintain our muscle system as well, which gives us our metabolism. And naturally, between like 25 and 35, we start to lose our muscular system if we don't do things to build it up, like eating enough protein and even using some strength training. So super important macro. And it can be one that you're like, how do I keep that in the pantry? Most protein is animal protein and it might go bad. What plant protein can I keep on hand? Well, I'm going to start with my new fave because there used to be a lot of talk about soy milk not being the best thing for women's hormone health. We now understand that was not correct, that the plant phytoestrogens is what they call them that come from soy milk can actually be a real benefit to women's hormone health. And so I look for soy that is organic because this is one of those big crops that's treated with pesticides. I want to avoid that. So organic soy milk is a protein source. This guy has 9 grams of protein in a cup. This guy has 12 grams of protein in a cup, and all that is in here are soybeans and water. No added sugars, no added gums, preservatives, anything else. This is shelf stable. So I find this one at my Walmart, Kroger, Target, much more available. This guy a little harder to find at like local health food stores, and you can order him on Amazon. But these are 2 protein sources I keep in hand, and I use them in my soy lattes. I enjoy the flavor of this, so I'll even drink a cup of it. You can warm it up and make a Good Morning Sue Ellen. You can make a green tea latte, a maca latte, a chai tea latte by brewing your favorite tea. Make it strong, warm up some of this soy milk, and blend them together. This has healthy fats in it as well, a little bit, and it's really mostly protein. So it will froth. So this can be a real boost to your protein from a plant source, easy to keep in the pantry. I have lots of those, and I just keep adding them on every time I go to the grocery store. Another soybean product is the roasted baby soybean, edamame, or baby soybeans. They can come frozen. You can eat them at a restaurant. You might have had them with salt in the pod, and you pop them out of the pod and eat them. These are already shelled and roasted, and this gives you almost 15 grams of protein in just a third of a cup. So I stock up on these at Kroger. They are a very macro balanced snack, though they're mostly protein. They also have carbohydrates, fiber, and healthy fats. So if you could only have one thing at a meal, remember how I always want you to have carbohydrates, proteins, and fats at the same time to have proper digestion and blood sugar balance? Yeah, it's a secret to wellness. This is a great one. And it comes in this wasabi flavor. So if you've had wasabi, it's like, ooh, kind of zingy. And it also comes in just a salted flavor. And again, I find these at local grocery stores, and you can order them in big batches, big bulk bags on Amazon.com. Another one I don't lean on too heavy, but we always keep this in the pantry, is a sugar-free jerky. This one, the only qualification I look for is that it be sugar-free. It's tough to find organic. It's tough to find no added sugars. But when I do, I get a few bags, and we keep this on hand because, again, In a pinch, this is a great source of protein. About, let's see, what do they say? 1 ounce will give you 13 grams of protein. And not too many other things, just a little fat, a little bit of carbs in there. But no sugar added jerky is a real great tool to keep on hand. You can keep it in the pantry, you can keep it at your office, and what a boost of protein. It often has a lot of added sodium, so that's why we just don't lean on it that heavy, but it's nice to have as a backup. That's what many of these items are a backup. So let's do canned tuna. Another item that we use sparingly now because of the way the food chain works in the ocean. Tuna are one of the fish that are really holding a lot of the toxins because the little fish eat them and then the tuna eat the little fish. Knowing that there is some mercury in tuna, you can look for tuna that's been tested to keep a lower mercury level. This one has not, but it is at least sustainably caught. So we usually keep some cans of tuna in the pantry as a protein source. This is mostly just protein, teeny bit of healthy fats, and again, perfect in a last minute pinch to get that dose of protein by making some tuna to go over a salad. And last few things. There are sipping broths and chicken stocks that have a decent amount of protein. This isn't the perfect one to show you, but to give you the idea, there are some called bone broth for sipping, and they'll have about 9 grams of protein in a cup. I usually keep a few of those in the pantry. I just used that my last one, but it'll say sipping bone broth, 9 grams of protein per cup. Nice tool to just have around in case you're a person who would enjoy that warm cup of bone broth. Some people do that. You can also then use that bone broth with all that extra protein in a recipe that might just call for stock, and then you've added that extra dose of protein to the recipe. So I usually have that on hand. And then I do have some protein supplements that I keep around. This one is actually the one I'm leaning on the most these days, and I'll go through why. This at least is unflavored, no added sugars. It is an animal product. It's made from the hide of cows. It's not organic, and it is a little processed. But it's about 20 grams of protein in a serving. It disappears in hot liquids. You don't really taste it in coffee. So this is one that I keep for a backup. It can go in smoothies pretty well as well, and coffee. To make your own protein shake approach is how I do it. So then you're getting less added sugars, less things you don't really need. You're kind of controlling the macros in there. So this one I use often. I still not yet, and I've been doing this for 2 years, have been searching for a protein powder that I enjoy. I prefer vegan because then I know I'm avoiding dairy. Most protein powder is made with non-organic dairy, which is going to be really treated with hormones. So I try to avoid it. If it says whey powder, that's dairy, so I avoid that guy. What I look for is vegan protein powder, mostly made from plants, pea protein, and I would love to find some that are unflavored and unsweetened because I don't like the really powerful sweeteners that are usually in these. It's just not to my taste. But this Truvani brand, they have chocolate and vanilla, disappears very well. It's not at all gritty, but it is very sweet. They use monk fruit sweetener, very sweet. So I've tried these two, and I also like the brand Sun Warrior. I don't have any to show you right now. I haven't restocked it in the pantry. It is vegan, organic, and totally unflavored. It does give things a bit of a dry texture, and it is a little bit salty. So if you have found an organic vegan protein powder you love, I would love to hear about it from you. Share it with us. It would help so much. So protein powder is something I do keep in the pantry to get protein in a pinch. Now these next two I'm going to transition because these are a little more macro balanced. They're going to take us from protein to carbohydrates. This is chickpea pasta down here. And then this is pasta made of those soybeans again, edamame pasta they call it. And these have made their way into our life. This product is really well done now. It used to be hard to cook with. Now just watch the cooking time and save the cooking water. Still salt the water like you would when you're cooking wheat or rice pasta. This is full of protein, carbohydrates, and fiber. It's a very macro balanced thing, and we like this. We prefer the edamame spaghetti with more Asian flavored dishes like shrimp and veggies and noodles. This is a winner because it's going to add on 24 grams of protein in a 2-ounce serving. That is a meat replacement right there. 21 carbohydrates, 12 grams of fiber, which is for many of us half of our daily serving of fiber in one portion of food, and then 3 grams of healthy fat. So it kind of has a funny color when you cook it. The color gets a little better. And as I said, with an Asian dish that has a nice little sauce to it, this works really well. We don't really enjoy this with Italian type dishes. That's when we swap in the chickpea pasta, and we've been using this Banza linguine very often because My kids and husband prefer the shape, the texture. It seems the most like the spaghetti that you're used to. So we use this with spaghetti and meatballs. Any place where there would be um, like a taco pasta, all those types of dishes. So I definitely keep different shapes of this guy on hand. And there's some brands that are chickpeas and water only. Those are phenomenal because then you're not having anything else. This one has a like a thickener in it. I think it has a little pea protein and tapioca and xanthan gum. So if you haven't tried lentil or chickpea pasta yet, or edamame pasta, I challenge you to get a box and just give it a go and see what happens. I do use it in any of the recipes I share that have pasta. I'm using one of those too. So those are protein and carbohydrates. So we'll use those kind of as a bridge to now talk, what do I always have in the picture for carbohydrates? Oatmeal, no surprise, I buy it in bulk, organic at our local market. There's a great new one that's sprouted organic oats at Costco. A client just showed that to me. Thank you so much, Layla. And I would buy a few bags next time I'm at Costco. It looks like a great one. So we keep this on hand for so many uses. Of course, you can just make oatmeal, baked oatmeal, overnight oats, which is what I'm going to break my fast with today, because this is a great source of whole carbohydrates that will digest really well, keep your blood sugar really balanced, keep you full, satisfied, energized, because that's a big role of the carb. The carb is there to fuel your muscles, your organs. It's your body's preferred source of fuel. Keeps your hormones balanced and your thyroid working well. So you can even whiz this up in a blender and make it into an oatmeal flour and bake with it and be avoiding wheat flours that have less nutrition and don't digest as well. So oatmeal is always in the pantry here. And then let's see, let's go to quinoa, always in the pantry here, as is brown rice. And I'm going to make an Instapot of quinoa and brown rice soon, today, to keep those carbs on hand. This one, again, because it has carbohydrates, proteins, and a little bit of fat, digests very well, is a whole carbohydrate that is just a great tool for our body and our wellness. So keep that quinoa on hand and your brown rice. Another tool we always have around here are lentils. They cook up very fast. They give you protein and carbohydrates, mostly carbs, and will, again, be a carbohydrate that keeps your blood sugar stable. And that's all wellness comes from that. It's the real secret key to why you feel full, why you feel good, why you feel energized. So get those lentils. You can buy them canned. We just do dry because they cook up so fast and easy on the stove or in an Instapot. You can make a big batch, mix it with your brown rice if you don't love the flavor alone. Mix it with your quinoa. Quinoa, lentil, brown rice mix changes things up a little. And you can make a big batch and just use it for the week. So I always have these in the pantry as a backup. 9 grams of protein, 22 grams of carbohydrates, and 4 grams of fiber. So this is a great, very, no fat, but almost macro-balanced food, mostly carbohydrates though. Another fast, easy carb that we do keep around are these brown rice cakes from this Lundberg brand, which I love their rice. It's from California, and because it's organic, it's supposed to be one of the rices that has less arsenic. So it's a win. And I found these at our Kroger. These are lightly salted. They also make a really treat one that is cinnamon and sugar. We just go lightly salted. And this is a way to skin in a dose of carbs. There's 15 carbs in a rice cake. It is just pretty much carbs. So those 15 carbs can make a difference at the end of the day. Have this with some sliced fruit over it, maybe a teeny bit of nut or seed butter, and you can create a somewhat macro-balanced snack too. So easy to keep on hand, very shelf-stable carbohydrates. And then my last but not least example of a shelf-stable carb we always have around is dried fruit with no sugar added. I love to keep dates and mangoes because these have their skin, as do the dates, so they're going to digest a little easier on our blood sugar. There's so much fiber in the skin of fruit. If we keep it on when we dry it and we don't add sugars, that still has a chance of digesting without making our blood sugar go too high, which puts us out of balance, leaves us hungry, gives us an energy crash. We don't want that. So this guy, again, a huge dose of carbs, shelf stable, a teeny bit goes a long way. You don't feel too full. So if you're at the end of the day and you're like, I just have a little tummy room, but I need 35 carbs, there's 35 carbs in about half a cup of these. It goes down without making you feel too full. So check out the dried fruits, check out dates because, oops, sorry for the noise. The dates, I like to buy them at Costco. They have they have organic, unsweetened dates always in multiple places in Costco. The dates can then be used to sweeten smoothies. You can eat them, just cut them in half and add a little peanut butter, and they're an amazing treat. They're very diverse as a sweetener that still has enough fiber to help your blood sugar stay stable. Okay, so let me transition to fats and then I'm gonna wrap up. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. Message me if you're on Instagram, because with these lives on Instagram, your comments will disappear forever. It doesn't really make any sense, but I will share this to my IGTV and it will live right here in the real food community for you all so that you can ask all the questions and give the ideas of what's in your pantry. What am I forgetting to share? What am I missing out on, y'all? And so let me do fats and then I'm gonna wrap this up because we have Zoom school in just a few minutes. I'm right there with you if you are doing school at home. So healthy fats we always have around are these pumpkin seeds, 15 grams of fat, about 9 grams of protein. So they're kind of a crossover between protein and fats. Delicious. Eat a handful, have a snack, have it on a salad, and you can up your protein and your healthy fats. I love buying these at Costco. Another one we always keep on hands are all the nuts, especially almonds, and because they're just such a wonderful healthy fat, and they give you fiber and a tiny dose of protein. So I'm just always looking for the nuts on sale. Sometimes it's at Costco, sometimes it's at Kroger, and we stock up. And we love almonds, so we go with almonds a lot. Another guy you'll always see me have, I'm gonna have these every day I can, are these cocoa nibs. They are a cocoa bean that is roasted. It tastes like chocolate and coffee at the same time, adds a little crunch. It is not sweetened. Don't bother with the sweetened version. They're sweet on their own and delicious. We always are looking for these on sale. Here, this one's at our health food store. I need to get up there and buy another bag. My husband just found this one. They're a little pricey, but a little bit goes a very long way. At the most, I use a tablespoon as a serving because they have very rich flavor, healthy fat, and great fiber in there too. Another one we're never without are coconut, unsweetened coconut chips, chunks, flakes, whatever you want to go with, whatever texture works for you. We always have this guy around, as well as coconut cream or coconut milk, because it's just a great big dose of healthy fat. And it can go in recipes, it can just be a snack on its own. This is great over berries. This is great with berries, just great as a little handful of healthy fats. So we're always keeping the unsweetened coconut around in the pantry here. Very shelf stable and easy to keep, as is nut butter, seed butter, all the nut butter and seed butter, sunflower seed butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, almond butter, whatever you want to do, just look for unsweetened. Then if you're going with peanuts, I try and get the organic. It's a really toxic crop, treated with a lot of pesticides. But the Costco has organic, and it's the most affordable I've found. So we keep this peanut butter in the pantry all the time. All right, let's go to the last guys that I want to say an overall shout out to beans because it's a crossover between carbs and protein. I should have said this with the pastas that are a crossover between carbs and protein. We always keep dry beans and canned beans. They're a great fill-in when you need carbs, fiber, and protein. So I have been really leaning into taking a smaller serving of animal protein and having beans in the recipe as well. And that helps me eat less animal protein. That helps me save money. It's often helping me eat a little bit less saturated fat. And beans are great for us. Gets a big dose of fiber in. So stock up on those canned beans that say they have the safe can liner. Get your dry beans and learn to use your Instapot, and you can make a humongous amount of dry beans for absolutely no cost in your Instapot. You don't even check your recipes, but often don't even need to soak the beans overnight or anything, and they turn out an amazing flavor and texture. Black beans in the Instapot and pinto beans in the Instapot are recipes I've shared recently in my real food community in this last meal plan and on my blog, amandabrinkmanbrockman.com. I just shared a great blog with wonderful recipes for pinto beans, refried beans, and black beans that some clients have shared with me recently. So dry beans and canned beans, don't forget those guys. Always in the pantry here. Then we always also have tomato products like salsa with no sugar added. I love this La Preparita brand, organic mild salsa. We love it. We put it in, I just put it in the Instapot the other day to make some shredded Mexican beef with a little bit of chili powder. Amazing. I put it over salads, we put it over potatoes, we put it over eggs. We lean on this salsa a lot. And then I always have cans of or jars of roasted tomatoes, canned tomatoes, because they can add so much flavor to so many recipes, and they even come with a little bit of fiber in every serving. So canned tomatoes are a big player in the pantry around here because they're almost always in the background of a recipe. And I just discovered, well, pretty recently, as I did a sugar elimination challenge with my clients, we took out the soy sauce and even the coconut aminos I'm using now. I need to research because they are added sugar. But this low sodium tamari has no added sugar. So we've been cooking with this instead of soy sauce. I know it's a little hard to see, but this organic reduced sodium tamari from Kroger is stocked up in the pantry. And so is this salad dressing, as well as salad dressings from Tessa Mae's. This has a little added sugar, but it's olive oil, garlic, and a little added sugar. We love this one. Goes with everything. And I find this at my local grocery. It's called Garlic Expressions. And then that brand Tessemae's that I often talk about and show you. Again, they're using some oils that I'm not sure are the healthiest oils, but because we're eating it cold, I think we're a little bit more okay. So it is a source of healthy fat that's almost always in our fridge. Tessemae brand and Primal Kitchen brand dressing products. All right, so does anybody have any questions? And hopefully you're noticing something I'm missing that's always in your pantry and you can add it in the comments so we can come back to this pantry tour as a resource. For next week, we can do a freezer and refrigerator tour here in the Real Food community so you can see what else is going on there, always in the background to support my family and I in being able to choose real food that is the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats we need, so we're eating them each time we eat and not having to spend all of our time and energy thinking about what's going to happen. It's just ready in the pantry. It's just ready in the fridge. It's just out there waiting in the freezer. All right. All right. I don't see anybody having any questions. I'm going to log off and get these kiddos to Zoom school and wish you a wonderful day. If you are not yet in the Real Food community with us, via Instagram, all you have to do is head to my bio and click to request to join. It's a community of real women using real food to make real changes. It's a great place to be, full of recipes, ideas, tips and tricks in the kitchen, all around this, all around how do we keep choosing whole food? How do we keep using real food? How do we keep finding fresh recipes and ideas so that we can stay on this journey together? All right, have a great day. Thanks, everybody.